I wanted to share the exciting experience of getting on a Steam event and how it pushed me to really improve our Steam page, and what I learned went well and what I could have done better. So this is the awesome 6-1 Indie showcase that I'm talking about. It started with a kind of an emotional whiplash. Whenever it starts with "I'm sorry to inform you," already I was feeling, like we didn't get in. But then there was this nice big surprise that we'd love to offer you one of the limited slots in the Steam event. And this is the first year that 6-1 Indie is doing this. It's so awesome. We get to see more indies. We really loved this because getting more Steam visibility, even for free, is amazing. So this is the Steam event that we're featured in, and it was from May 22 to the following Monday. And if you scroll down, there's this new section called 6-1 Indie Recommends under Add to Your Wishlist. That's where I found Portobello's. And yeah, my goal was really to improve that little video that Steam generates and have the images pop more so that people actually go visit our page. So the first part to improve our Steam page, I decided to create new gifs. So they used to just be one gif and it was just some fruits and no reason really to have any movement in it. So I went in and I decided to take little gifs of more of the vibes and a little bit of the gameplay, but mostly the vibes. I honestly hadn't really done many gifs before, and it was a little bit of a rabbit hole, especially finding one that had nice quality and didn't look sandy. And I ended up sharing some of the things I learned on the Portobello's threads. Essentially, my saving grace was FFmpeg and a Reddit user. So this one was like magic to me because everything else I had tried, it was really bad. And then I just shared a few more tips and tricks. It kind of comes down to going through Steamworks, seeing what size Steam wants. So 616 for the width of the Steam description. And then my goal was to try to get all my files under 15 megabytes just to make sure that the store page loads quickly. It also includes the screenshots and GIFs. It doesn't mention the video, but even so, I made sure that the video wasn't too big either. But yeah, all of that, FFmpeg, image and magic for the screenshots, it made it so everything for me is under, I think it's about like 10 megabytes in total, and the page loads really quickly. But yeah, setting up these GIFs was a whole day of research, and also finding out that I already had FFmpeg installed because I had installed Image Magic, and just installing FFmpeg looked like some kind of sorcery, rabbit holes of rabbit holes. And this GIF in particular was a bit challenging. I ended up using a static camera volume. If you're interested in that, I do have a video on that subject. I changed her start point so she was off screen, and I opened OBS. I made sure to line it up specifically to that area. And then I just kind of aimlessly just ran left and then right. And yeah, I really like this one. The next thing I did, which really improved the visibility of the game, was to localize the page in my native tongue. So I ended up just pretty much writing everything in French. At first I was really rusty because I guess work and home life has been mostly immersed in English. I felt like I wrote more colorfully and it had more energy. It was flowing way better. So I actually ended up pretty much writing everything, not really translating, but just writing it in French, what I meant to say. And then I actually translated it back into English. It added a lot of life to the About Us section. I'm sure I will rework this a bunch of times, but now we have it in French. So this is where I made a little bit of a mistake. I pushed that update. I was so excited to update the GIFs and About Us text. Then I pushed it before we updated the screenshots and the video. And what I saw in the stats is that there were more visits from Discovery Queue and there were more visits from friends, but they didn't have all the goodies, or they didn't have the first impression that I would have liked them to have. I totally recommend just making sure it's the best first impression before localizing, because Steam will really just show your game once you write it in specific languages. I want to localize it to more languages. I honestly wish I knew more languages, but the next one will definitely be the ones that have more wish lists. So for Germany, the Netherlands, and Brazil. And I'd like to give a shout out to Marnix from Bite Me Games for the tip about localizing the page store and also about the gifs. And then the real meat of the update, or what I think to be the meat of the update, my wonderful partner updated our video. While he was doing that, I was just playing the game and taking screenshots. I made sure to disable all of the on-screen messages. I took the time to set pretty much all my HUD except when you pick up items to be collapsed, so the text for demo wouldn't show up, and also the HUD, which I don't think matches the visuals yet, and I'm currently working on that. So yeah, I was just playing any cool moment or any nicely framed moment. I would just press F9 to save to the screenshots folder. So this is just a development build, and I gotta say, I guess this one was a bit tough because I was essentially using the controller and then at the same time directing the camera and then pressing F9. I gotta say this one was the most challenging one. So I tried to have it so you can see the character in the background, and you can see that she will throw this pomegranate and frame it nicely. So there's a bunch of times that I didn't want to blow this up yet, so I would turn around and throw the pomegranate that way and then do it all over again just to make sure I have the framing just right. I feel like all these changes were definitely needed, and I wish that we updated our Steam page earlier. So I actually found some very telling and great feedback online by just searching for Portobellos in YouTube, and there was a YouTuber that covered our game as part of her wishlist. And the biggest feedback we got was that she couldn't remember adding this game and she was confused. You can check it out if you want. But this is honestly the best feedback we could get, especially when it's somebody you don't know. And it was super valuable feedback. And another thing, essentially it was a fantastic time capsule. So these used to be our screenshots and that used to be our old video. And the screenshots don't really pop at you, and especially that these 4 first screenshots will be the first one to show whenever someone hovers over a game during an event. It was really important to get those 4 right, and I'm pretty sure I got that advice from How to Market Your Game, which is also where we found out about 6-1 Indie. That Discord and Chris's How to Market Your Game is super valuable. And another thing that I changed a whole bunch, and that one I gotta thank Marnix again, is our store description. Since we started with Embark, I got some other good feedback that Embark might kind of intend that it's ChatGPT, and I do not use ChatGPT, and we haven't used any AI on our game. So I made sure to change that description, and it kind of helped us also hone in on what's important in our game, and what are we actually doing in the game, and what's eye-catching. It took me about a day to just do different variations of this short description, but I'm really happy where it is. So I feel like this short description is really important because a lot of people will just go read that and then really just skim this and just look at the gifs. One thing that I didn't need to change is the tags for a game because they really match up. So we're very similar to Little Gator Game, Short Hike, Snuffkin. One I always want to have is Smooshy Come Home. So the day Smooshy Come Home doesn't show up in more like this, I will really have to play with our tags and get it back. Some of them I'm still curious, like Haste, Little Kitty, Big City. I think people who enjoy this one will enjoy our game. It's always interesting to see which newer games are out and similar, because a lot of them will also drive traffic to your game. And I noticed this with like if there's a similar game or similar tag game, I can see that there's more traffic from more like this. So I guess people are clicking on these suggestions. And it's really true that your Steam page is a living thing and will change a bunch of times before you release. So this is what Portobello's looked like the day it was added to Steam. So it had an old video, it had old Steam screenshots, and that capsule art, that capsule art has gone through a lot of revisions. I'm not even sure, even back then, that mountain or that pie just didn't really look like a mushroom or a pie, and we had no gifs. It was just a wall of text, and our tags started with indie and adventure and casual. Our tags didn't match really with our game. So yeah, we've gone through a lot of revisions. I'm sure we'll go through a lot more in the future, but I'm really happy with where we're at the moment. And by the way, we definitely changed that release date. I'm very happy that we're taking the time to make this game awesome. So now for the outcome of this Steam event and all of that effort. The biggest boost I got was just the fact that we were even chosen for being shown in their Steam event. There was a specific number of games shown, and it was just mind-boggling to see who else was on this list. The order of the games is random, so every time you open the page, Portobello's will show up somewhere else. And one of the times I just saw is beside Cairn, which I'm not sure if I'm saying correctly, but I really enjoyed Cairn's demo. It's funny because I mentioned it in one of my newsletters, or like my favorite demo of the month, favorite game of the month, and it was just a big moment to see that we were featured alongside these games. And as for daily wishlists, I feel like every effort that we did, so the April 30th is when I updated the gifs and the localization, and that gave us a boost in discoverability for the discovery queue and visitors from France. And then May 9th is when we updated the video and the screenshots. You know, if you have your game on Steam, I don't know if you're as obsessed as I am, but every morning I look at the wishlists. I think a Reddit user placed it well for a rush of dopamine or depression. Well, in this case, we had 2 deletions the next day that we updated our screenshots in our video. I mean, that might have to do with the fact that I updated at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Maybe I'm hoping those deletions were before then. But I feel it seems like, I mean, this is just 3 months worth of data, but I feel like we've had way less deletions ever since. A nice small but continuous flow of visits. And yeah, this was the 6-1 indie. One interesting thing to note is that in my data, I saw that we got more wishlists than we had visits directly from this sale. So maybe what that means is that maybe people were just wishlisting here, or there were also some stats for more like this in discovery queue. So I think overall, being on a Steam event boosted our visibility, not just on the event, because this event wasn't on the front page. You kind of had to know that this event was happening, or seeing the banner on other pages with the 6-1 indie banner and then clicking on it. And another thing that might have affected visibility is because we didn't have a demo. This is a carousel, and maybe it wasn't clear that you could click on these ones as well. Honestly, it was very exciting for the future, because for the people that did find our game and saw us and went through the carousel, we got the stat that 13% of them clicked on our game. So that was really exciting to hear. So I think all of our improvement were really useful. And also I found it interesting that Steam auto-generated this video with 3 of the explosions. It's interesting because there's the trailer has more than just that. If I let it roll a little bit more, yeah, you can see that it could be a little different. I actually prefer the second auto-generated video that Steam does. So this was a major boost for our excitement that the next event that we may get in will have fantastic visibility and that people are interested and click. So now that I feel that our page is really strong and I'm very happy with it where it's at, I feel like I can finally focus on the game again. I've been working on revamping the UI for a game. What took me a long time was to think about what common actions will the players do. So I made this D-pad friendly carousel, but also that works for keyboard and mouse. I want to make our game accessible to as many people as are interested in playing a chill adventure about baking pies and exploring. I've started implementing that HUD that I'm mocking up, so you can see that it's nice and easy to hide some HUD elements, at least the recipe and the next goal. So if I switch to keyboard and mouse, then this updates over here. And thanks to some YouTube tutorials, I was able to implement the first ever PCG in our project. I just implemented a coin curve, and it's already helping us so much. So I can set the coin spacing. Let's say if there's like 50, then there'll be a bunch of coins. I called it coin, but really in our game it's jelly beans. So when I play, you'll see all these jelly beans. I'm not sure what else we'll use for procedural content generation. It's always good to have tools that just make artists and developers' lives easier. Another thing I've been working on is the map. I took a page of my own video, so if you're interested in generating a minimap from your world with defined bounds, go check out this video. Essentially, I traced over with some vector art the map, and I'll have a little icon for where the player is. And I've started to design all of my UI to fit 4K first, and then be resizing itself down for 1080p and all the other resolutions. I think time will tell if that was the right decision, but so far it's working really nicely. This whole project and working on our own game has given me a newfound passion for art and definitely making games. I love it, and I found a new passion for vector art. I'm curious to see where that'll go. I was happy to share a little bit of my first steps in marketing, and I hope this was useful for you. And I'm looking forward to sharing more about game development. As always, thank you for watching, and thank you so much, patrons. I hope that whatever wall you're hitting in your game development, you overcome it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.